Hello, this is an open letter to James Corbett of the Corbett Report. I just watched your latest, or I listened to your latest program, and I want to say I enjoy your programs. They are informative, but they're not enough. We need more than enlightening programming. I've been listening to Alex Jones for years, David Icke too. And I find them enlightening and informative at various moments in time, but they still don't see the problem correctly. The problem is us. We are the problem. And let me explain what I mean. I ran for the United States Senate in Vermont in 2006. And somebody came up to me and he actually said, if I give you money, will you vote the way I want you to? And he wasn't trying to be funny. He was being sincere. He wanted to buy me. That's the point. And of course we know that's exactly what happens 1,000 times a day. Our political representatives get bought by individuals, corporations, organizations of all sorts. APAC. Right now, in Fukushima, the government of Japan is running around the world in order to get the endorsement of the International Olympic Committee for the Olympics in 2020. They paid off people all over the world, gave checks to youth organizations or athletic organizations. And then that country voted for Japan to have the Olympics in 2020, which makes no sense at all, because Fukushima is not under control, as you know. And it's going to get worse, and Tokyo Bay is polluted, and that's where they're going to have the Olympic events. It makes no sense. It's insanity. But this is how money works. We don't care about morality. We don't care about what makes sense. Just give me the money. And that's how a lot of people vote. So it isn't about Democrats or Republicans. It's about money. We want the money. And we'll vote for whoever is going to give it to us, whether it's some kind of an entitlement program or whether it's a military contract, a job, whatever it is, he's going to give me money, I'm going to vote for him. Money corrupts us all. So you need to go deeper into the problem to understand the solution. The solution is we think our mission here is to control our environment. And money presents itself as a means of controlling our environment. If I give you money, you're more in control, right? You can control your environment. You can buy air purifiers and organic food and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? You're in control when you have money. Well, you're not in control. And I think Fukushima has proven that to us all. We're not in control of our environment. I don't know what particles are coming in the air right now from Fukushima. I can't live in a bubble. What kind of life is that? Say, I'm not going outside. There might be radioactive cesium in the air today. Think about it. We're not in control. And we shouldn't be trying to be in control. We should be trying to make a better world. One where things work better and that we are in greater harmony and peace, and where we respect each other. Virtue is the answer. Where we love each other. In the Bible it says, love your neighbor as yourself. Money doesn't do that. You can love your neighbor with money, but that's not the nature of money. The nature of money is selfishness. What do I want? I want a car, I want a computer, I want this, I want that, I want a lot of things. We're driven by desire. And money seems to present itself as the means of fulfilling our desires. Look at Japan and what they're doing with the Fukushima thing. They're not taking care of business. They're trying to tell people, get back to normal. You want things to be normal, don't you? So we'll tell you it's normal and everything's fine. There's the lie. And I don't think you should denigrate democracy like you did, it's red versus blue. That's not the total summation of democracy. Here, I'm in Massachusetts. Last year, they had an initiative on the ballot for medical marijuana dispensaries, and it passed. And the government has set up medical marijuana dispensaries. That's not red versus blue. It had nothing to do with either the Democrats or the Republicans. It had to do with the fact that people want medical marijuana dispensaries. Just a week ago, they had a vote, a special vote here in Spencer, Massachusetts, for an override on the school budget, because the school spent more money than they were budgeted. The people turned it down. That's democracy. Has nothing to do with red versus blue. So you need to remember, democracy is more than party politics, and it's more than politicians. It always has been. Do you want to have a bond issue so we can build a new school building down the road? That's not red versus blue. That's not people getting elected. That's about, what do you want? That's democracy. So, I want you to focus on money and do a show on the nature of money and how it affects our thinking. I call it money consciousness, because I think that's at the root of the problem, is this idea that we should be in control and that money is the primary means of our control, whether it is over our own lives, our neighborhoods, our countries, our environment, that the purpose of our existence is control. And I think control is complete illusion. And so when we subscribe to this idea that we are here to control our environment and everyone in it, we have already sold our soul to the devil, because we aren't here to control things. We are here to love each other. And when you love people, you think about what they need and how you can help them get what they need. Not necessarily give it to them, that's one way. But you might want to say, I want to create a political system where everybody can get what they need. And it isn't about competition so that some people win and some people lose. That's not loving your neighbor. That's making some people lose. Nobody should lose. Everybody should get what they need. Justice is about consensus. What's good for all of us? We all need clean air, clean water, good healthy food, a place to live, and so forth and so on. And when you say, well, we're going to give everybody the right to compete to get a place to live, that's not it. That you go out and you try and make money so you can buy a house. That's not it. We have plenty of places to live. We don't have the money to let people live in them. Money's a failed system. And we have to stop thinking the problem is the corrupt politicians or the cabal or the Illuminati or the Zionist conspiracy or whatever. Yeah, all those things are part of the problem. But they aren't the problem. The problem is this idea that we are here to control our environment. The control paradigm is the problem, and money is the primary means of seeking that control. So you need to do a show that's philosophy. That's how do you put this all together? And we need to get political action. Enough of the awareness already. We have awareness, but not necessarily deep enough into the problem. It's in our hearts. It's in our hearts. It's like, I want what I want, and I don't care about you. I'm going to use you to get what I want. That's the problem at the most fundamental level. You are an object for my utilization. You are here to satisfy my desires. I'm the king, you're the servant. Well, how do I know who the kings are? The kings are the people with money. So everybody's trying to get money so they can be the king. You see it? It's hideously evil. And of course, when you get a little money, you do feel like a king, right? You do feel more control. You do think that you're running your life better now because you have more money. You know? It does feel like that. And we fall into the money spell, or what I call property consciousness. The idea that since I own something, I can control it. And we think we own money, but it doesn't work that way. It's a deception. Money owns us. We serve money. Money is the master. We're not the master because we get money. We're the servant of money. Look at Cyprus and what happened there. People thought they had money in their bank accounts. They didn't have what they thought they had. The bail-in took it away. Money is a system with a set of rules. Government makes the rules, but you could say maybe it isn't government, maybe it's the rich people or the bankers. That might be true too. But as far as the veneer goes, government makes the rules of money. The Federal Reserve was authorized to manage our money supply in the United States by Congress. Federal Reserve Act 1913. Now, you can go in the Constitution, it says Congress has the right to create money and coin money and regulate the value thereof. There it is. There's that idea of control. And let's remember that in the United States, one man could own another man as property, and it was legal when this country was founded. Think about that. You are my property. You're my slave. And that's okay. We're going to start a new country. Wonderful, huh? And that's what this country was built on. Slavery. Don't ever forget it. But more fundamentally, it was built on the idea of property. Slaves are property. Think about that. And property is all about control. It's like, I own it. I'm in control. And money is fluid property, if you will. That's the myth, the money. One of the myths of money is that it's fluid property. You can easily move it from here to there and anywhere you want. It's transferable. It's hard to transfer a physical being or a piece of land or gold or silver. That gets problematical. But money, instantaneously transferable. It's fluid. And it lets you have that feeling of being in control. You're the king, you're the queen, you're the dictator, you're the tyrant because you have money. So when we engage with money, we are all engaging with tyranny. We are loving control. We are loving the idea of being in control. So when you talk about the plan being to create a single world government, yeah, no kidding. But it's going to be run by money, not by any individual or any cabal or Zionist conspiracy. That's all missing the point. All of those people, they exist, and yes, they are conspiracy-oriented, and yes, they do want to rule the world. Yes, 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 yes. But all of them serve money. Money is their master. See it. And money is our master, most of us. We don't have a higher authority. And this is what the problem is with Islam, because Islam does have a higher authority. Allah. And that's what you need to see about Islam. It is a wonderful religion in that sense. They do have something higher than what the Jews have, which is money. They don't really worship God. They really worship money. They really worship this idea of property and of control. Money is a control paradigm issue. That means it's all about control. And this is what we need to change, and we can do it in many small ways as well as big ways. Don't denigrate democracy. Democracy is going to be very helpful in doing this. Because if you localize and you do democracy at the local level, it's too expensive for the people who have a lot of money to run around and put out all these fires of democracy in action. It has to swell up and go everywhere all at once. 1,000 movements of democracy at the local level. State level, province level, city level, whatever. Nobody's going to be in control of this movement. In fact, it's already happening. See it for what it is. If you keep focusing on the conspiracy angle and the Nazis and the Jews and the Zionists and the Illuminati and da-da-da-da-da, you're not paying attention to the core problem, which is we serve money. And we need to free ourselves from that relationship, from that slavery, money slavery. We know money is debt, we know debt is slavery, therefore money is slavery. And I know we don't think that way, we think that money is freedom because it presents itself that way and it gives us enough freedom so that we can believe in the myth, but it's actually slavery because after you spend your money, you need more. Why do you need more? Because you never got free with money. You just played with this idea of control and got addicted to it. Now you need more. It's the biggest drug in the universe. As far as I know, money is the biggest drug in the universe. The most massive conspiracy to take away our divine nature. Destroy it. We serve money. In the Bible it says you cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon being money. You have to pick. Which one do you serve? Now, if you don't like the word God, you could use the word virtue. Like peace, love, kindness, respect. All the virtues. Serve virtue. Because service is a virtue. Especially when it is service to virtue. Serve consensus, if you will. Serve others. But don't serve money. Serve people, or serve principle, or serve virtue. But don't serve money. Money is not a virtue. It's not a good thing. It's an evil thing. Because it's collected our consciousness and focused it on the subject of control. Who's in control? And then we're supposed to compete to see who wins the competition, and that person's going to be in control. It's a hideous game. And we aren't here to play games. We're here to free ourselves from the illusion. The illusion of winning, the illusion of control. The illusion that we can overcome with force. So when I heard the Occupy movement come out and say, oh, we're going to get critical mass, I go, you already lost. You don't understand what it's about. Critical mass is speaking to the idea of control. Once we get enough people, we're going to control things. See it? It's the same paradigm. It's not a new paradigm. Same thing with zeitgeist. They were going to get critical mass. Yeah, we got to get critical mass. It isn't going to happen by critical mass. It's going to happen by a change of our consciousness. And that can happen little ways at a time. It can also happen through democracy. We can see that democracy works in little ways and in bigger ways. I think the Syria situation is actually very refreshing because he was ready to go bomb Syria, and he stopped because we said, stop! And we said it loud, and we said it with lots of people doing it in 1,000 different ways. It doesn't need to be all of us doing it behind one leader or one party or one organization, but we do have to cooperate. That's required. And we need to build the infrastructure of cooperation. We have the infrastructure for competition. We have the party system and all this stuff. And the money system. That's all about competition and control. We need cooperation for consensus. What is the right thing to do? The right thing to do isn't what do I think and what do I want. It is what do we think? What do we want? Where do we agree? And consensus is not something, I achieved consensus today. No. It's I am seeking consensus today. And tomorrow I'm still seeking it. And the day after I'm still seeking it. It isn't something to be won, something to be triumphed and say, look, we got consensus. No, it's something to be constantly seeking with humility and respect for others. Truth is more than I know. Justice is more than my opinion. There's the right attitude. And we need to build organizations to support this consciousness. And I think we are doing it. So you might want to look around and find some of these people that are doing this and put them on your show, bring them on and say, look, this is the way. Let's do this way. It isn't about lining up behind any individual or doing any individual thing. It's about a change of consciousness and taking action in harmony with that consciousness. I have said for years what we need to do is change the consciousness of the people who are in power, whoever they are. Politicians, business people, religious people, all of them. We don't need to have guns and bombs and bullets to do that. But we do need to have organization. So that we can act in consort. So that we can act together. I like your shows. I want to have you raise consciousness. And when I hear you talk about money as something that's independent of the corruption and the conspiracy, it falls deaf. It's like, no, there is no money out there that's independent of the conspiracy. Money's the biggest conspiracy on the planet. And we all conspire to play the game. And we need to stop playing games. Property is the primary delusion. It's mine, not yours. There you go. Now we're at war. I just impoverished you by insisting that it's mine, not yours. How about if we both come together and have a consensus that whoever needs it the most gets it? How about that? It's yours if you need it more than I do. Think about that. Rather than, it's mine and I don't care if I need it and I don't care if I use it. I'm going to keep it in the closet. It doesn't matter. It's mine, all mine. You see the insanity of that? I own it. I control it. You don't own it. So even though you might make better use of it than me, you're not going to get it. I'm in control. You see the insanity of that? Do you? But yet I hear that coming from you too, this insanity of property consciousness. Check it at the door and say to yourself, I will support whatever is the right thing to support, and I don't pretend to know what it is. Tell me, what's the right thing to do? That's a different attitude than, I've got my property and nobody's going to tell me what to do. See it? You're catering to the disease when you support that attitude, the property consciousness attitude. Same with Alex Jones, same with David Icke. I mean, they're all doing the property thing. They're all selling gobs of stuff. Of course, you buy their DVDs and you own them. They're your property. Why don't you just contribute to your local library and give one to the library? You don't even need it. You can watch it online. See, once we think in terms of cooperation, we don't need to own so much stuff. But of course the economy fails because it's built on the idea of selling stuff to people. we're locked into this overconsumption, property consciousness, monetary system. And we need to break it. And it is going to take a while. It took a while to build the trap. It's going to take a while to spring the trap and free humanity from the trap of money and the trap of control. And property consciousness is at the base of the whole thing. I own it. It's mine. I control it. And that's what I'm here to do, is control my environment. Seems like a logical thing to do, doesn't it? Makes sense, right? But it leads to exactly the result that you talk about and Alex Jones talks about and all these people talk about. The conspiracy to centralize power in the hands of the few and have global government. The whole thing is based on, it's mine, not yours. I'm in control. That's the basis of it. And that has to be taken down. It is not a virtuous attitude. A virtuous attitude is, I will share whatever I have with whoever needs it more than I do. Okay? Not that you should suffer, but that you should be willing to give when you can to those who need whatever it is you can give. And that includes physical things as well as mental and spiritual things. Consume less and share more. And that's the basis of the revolution, my friend. Consume less and share more, because the property consciousness, monetary, economic system teaches us to do exactly the reverse. To consume more and share less. Blessings.